really fascinating to be invited inside the process and the creative journey of this. I always personally want an explanation, an inside scoop on how the artist got there after watching a performance. And I got to do that in real time, which I thought was really effective through the split screen device as well. It was thoughtfully explained and thoughtfully captured in the cinematography as well. It was well paced, well crafted, and yeah, the split screen allowed me the time to take it all in and almost gain a greater respect for it as well. I felt like there's an intimacy in sharing this where I felt like I was getting like a backstage pass.
The dancer uses this movement as a form of communicating and creating a bond with her partner, who is a horse. You let a horse be a horse and train them in such a way that deprograms the human aspect. And by doing so, they create this impeccable bond through the form of art and dance. I think this speaks something beyond humanity. I think we have to let things be, and there's a potential for beauty within that will come out of these moments.
I think it was a really great representation of, you know, finding loyalty and trust with the animal despite being scared of it. And almost that being a representation of herself and being scared of herself and the body and the movement. And as she learns how the horse moves, she begins to understand how she moves and it like centering herself again as she becomes more comfortable with this horse. I think it was very clear symbolism and a clear metaphor for this dancer and how she relearns how to use her body and gets through that. It was a really interesting concept. I think it was done really well. And I love any piece that uses animals. I think it adds like a whole new touch to it, a new layer to it. And animals are not always the easiest to work with. So I want to commend you for that.
I loved hearing the artist's thoughts on the creation of this piece, and it certainly is a very unique idea to create a dance piece with a horse, with a living creature other than human. It's definitely a very interesting and beautiful concept. Outside of something that you might see in a Disney movie where they're obviously training and prodding the animal to do certain things. This is not that. This is letting the animal exist as the animal exists, and you know, as the performer says, thinking with a sense of play, and how important that is. That's and then the filmmakers are talking about the kind of electromagnetic field between the performer and the horse and sensing each other. It's almost like a mother and a newborn. It's quite beautiful. Um, and yeah, so from all that, we kind of get a sense of just what the origin of this piece is, where it's coming from, where the energy and the art of it is. And it was certainly performed beautifully. She's a great dancer. She did a wonderful job expressing herself, and I'm loving the way it was shot and edited, and just their analysis of the whole thing was quite enlightening.
I really loved the quote in the beginning, and I think that it set the tone for the entire film. Um, this was shot incredibly. It was just beautiful. I loved listening to, I believe, yeah, it was Marie's interview and her story and how she got involved with this film and Dancing with the Horses. I just thought that that was amazing. And then getting a chance to watch her actually dance with the horses and how they were doing this. That was pure magic. It was just pure magic. I think there was a real connection between her and the horses, and it showed on film.
I thought it was emotional. I thought it was uplifting and inspiring. I loved the subject matter that this film takes on. It really celebrates horses, and not only that, I think it really has a lot of respect for horses, and I think it shows a lot of empathy for horses. Um, I love how this film explores the relationship between people and horses. It does a great job of breaking down the horse training process, step by step, and really pulling the curtain back on that. And through doing that, I think it really shows the depth of the relationship between the horse and its trainer.
It did amuse me when the protagonist said she was afraid of horses, but it's amazing that she's able to conquer her fear by working with them through equine therapy, which I didn't even know was a thing. So I think it's amazing that she's able to do it, and she's trying to move with the horse, something that as a dancer she's used to moving, but now she has to learn how to move with an animal and learn the animal as well. Um, Hopefully she'll eventually learn horses are very, very loyal, but it's something that as you trust each other, that the movement becomes more and more natural. And this documentary showed that where it's helping her.